All right, guys, welcome back to another off-season 3 recap video. This one is probably one of the most impactful I've ever made. This was literally one of the most impactful lessons I've had, and this is a ground force lesson with Ryan Holley. Now, I have linked all of my previous videos with Ryan in the description below. We've been working together for a couple of years now and slowly just building on making my swing as competitive as possible. I went and saw him at the end of December to just kind of clean up some stuff, specifically low point. I had worked on a bunch of the other ground force things we had going. Things were working really well, but there was just one aspect of my swing that I just knew was wrong. I was hitting it chunky quite a bit. Low point was not ideal. This lesson has been what has informed the last 5 months of training. I have literally spent every practice session, workout session, everything implementing what we did in this lesson. So I hope you guys find this informative. I still get a lot from it watching it back as I edit it. Here we go. This is me at Ryan Holley's getting my ground forces dialed in.
Little chunk?
Slight, that was better though.
Okay, but a little chunk, right?
That wasn't as pure,
okay.
no.
Let's, I want to just take a quick kind of sneak peek of this. Yeah, that's why. Okay. That's why you chunk it right here. This graph right here.
The vertical?
Yeah. So we're gonna, I mean, I don't think you need to add speed to the equation. It doesn't look like you really need to add rotation to the equation, right? If I look at this from top down, you're super open like that. The rib cage is open.
Yeah.
The pelvis is open. From here, you're nice and open. Things look good. I like that. The problem is that you're creating, like on this swing in particular, you're creating 214% of your body weight vertically, which is an awesome peak, right? The problem is now when you get to impact, you're at 175% of your body weight. So you're creating 214, but you're only putting 39% of your body weight into the golf club.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, more so than the peak, I want to see how low we can get that value at impact.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So show me a few more swings before we get into that. I want to see that repeat a bunch of times, and then we'll take a look at it.
And would that be?
Well, we'll talk about it. Give me a few, just so I can say, okay, like this is absolutely happening all of the time.
I definitely tried to wake up a bit on that one.
Yeah, same kind of thing. So 215 and 153. So same kind of numbers there.
Okay.
Right? So that makes sense as to why the contact isn't always great.
That was a good one.
That was very good. Very good. Pretty good carry. So when we look at that, we're going to see 213, and at impact we are 175. So this repeats. So then the contact portion when you hit it good is a little timing based, a little maybe wrist based, but we can clean that up and make it much more consistent for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a skinny one.
So those skinnies will happen when you start to hit fat, right? Because you're gonna respond, you're gonna react to that. I mean, the path is good, speed is great. When you hit it good, spin rates are good. Everything looks really good. Lie angle is good on the golf club for the most part. Not on that one so much. That sounded hammered.
That was pretty good. It's a little floaty
short
looking.
right though. Yeah. Okay. So let's dive right into it, man. Across like all these swings here, you're going to see the same, regardless of the outcome, you're going to see the same shapes of graphs. So purple's up near this peak of PGA Tour average, vertical's above, and yellow's, or the torque is kind of right in the middle of it. Okay, so in this swing, you're creating 111 pounds of torque, 215% of your body weight vertically. And by the time you get to impact, that 215 is 146. Okay, here, same kind of shapes of graphs, right? Up top, 203 at max, and by impact, you are We'll call that 169. And over here, I think this one was a little chunky one, 213 and 175. Okay, so typically speaking, with an iron in your hand, I would like to see you somewhere, if you're creating 215% of your body weight, I would like to see this at like, call it 120 or less. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna get you to feel is you getting airborne.
Okay. So, okay.
So it's not going to be as airborne as you are with a driver. So with a driver, like a guy like Kyle Berkshire, when he hits it, is going to be like less than 15% of his body weight relative to the ground.
Right.
You know, some really good, you know, drivers of the golf ball that I know are going to be like 50% of their body weight. We're not going to go that far with irons because it's going to like hinder your ability to hit down on the golf ball. Right? So the more you weigh relative to the plate, the more, like, typically the lower your body is. Right? The higher you get, the more, like, the less you weigh, the more you're coming up, which is going to affect AOA. So I'm glad that you're starting at this like 5, 6 down point because it's probably going to shrink a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So let's do a couple drills and then we'll get right into it. You're strong, so I'm going to give you the purple band.
And so this is good because I've been purposely trying to work on that motion.
So that's the load, and that's why you're getting to like 215.
Right.
Where like I don't know how far back in time we want to go, but
Well,
like
yeah.
if we go back to the beginning, November 11th, 2021, so like 13 months ago, give or take, 13 and a half months ago, when we look at like a good 7-iron for you, that your longest one here was 171, 92 miles an hour. Okay. You were 184% of your body weight at peak, and you were 126 at around impact. Okay, so you've reached this way higher peak. So over here, you were putting in like 303 pounds of force.
Right.
And over here, you're putting in 362 pounds of force. So like the overall peak is higher, but what's happened is the amount that's getting into the golf club probably hasn't changed that much.
Right.
Okay. So we want to change. We want to get more of that force into the golf club.
Right.
Like you'll probably see your speed go up again, but this is more about managing contact than it is anything else. So
totally.
I'm going to take the club from you.
Okay.
Pop that underneath your left foot. Yep. Just step on it. Perfect. Pull it up over your left shoulder and kind of like support it like you're serving a tray of drinks. Perfect. Okay. Turn up to the top of your backswing. Your knee movement will cause there to be slack in that line.
Okay.
Right, so go ahead, perfect. Okay, that's your knee movement. Now I want you to pull, like basically push that band straight up in the air, but I want you to push it, I want you to pull up and push so hard that your foot comes up off the ground.
Got it.
Yes.
Like, okay.
But pull that band tight. Don't lift your foot, pull the band tight. There you go. So you're straightening that leg so aggressively hard. There you go. That you're going to get that foot to go airborne. Okay, so if you think about what I asked you to do, I want you to weigh, say, 80% of your body weight when you strike the golf ball. It means 20% of you has to be up off the ground.
Right.
Okay, so the smaller you make your left foot at impact, the more airborne you're going to get. So take a look at this kind of just easy kind of illustration of this. Your left foot here is big and red, right? So you have 76% of your pressure over there. It keeps growing. And it starts to shrink, right? But it starts to shrink kind of after impact. So when you're at impact, this foot is basically as big as it ever was. Maybe a little bit smaller, but not meaningfully, right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The foot has to get small because it's coming up off the ground.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is good because intuitively this was something I've been, like I was saying, like in the gym, getting the legs to do this. So this is good that.
So you're applying a huge amount of force, but you're doing it where you're not actually producing that jump at the right time.
Right.
Okay, so I just want you to feel like you are airborne when you hit this golf ball, whatever that means to you. Good first try. All right, so let's take a look at those numbers there. So you got to 230% body weight, and at impact you were around 142. So maybe even a little bit more.
Okay.
So at some point right here, you can see here, you get to 49% of your body weight. So you are behaving correctly. Right? I'm not asking you to do something that you can't do. I just want you to do it earlier. Now, jump right up off the ground. No, that's too late. The left foot shouldn't be on the ground when you hit it. Or that's what it should feel like. It should have already gotten smaller. There you go.
Okay.
Give me that feel. See what happens.
That's interesting.
It's a little on the chunky side, right?
Yeah.
So 236, so you got more, but you're actually generating that late. So there, again, impact is 177. It's not until here. So you jumped higher, you got more off the plate to 33% of your body weight.
Just late.
But you're doing it at shaft parallel on this side. Okay?
Which is not where we want to put extra force into the club.
Not so much, right?
Got it.
We want to have already ditched that energy that you're creating out into the golf club.
Right. Touch thin.
.103, so that's the fastest one of the day.
Yeah.
213, so that's a normal peak for you.
Path good. 4 down.
But
still.
here's that extra little bit of mileage
Right.
comes from the fact that you're about 113 when you hit this golf ball. So you've ditched 100% of your body weight into the shaft. So
Right.
that little bit of increase is that little bit extra club head speed.
Right.
Okay. See, the AOA gets a little shallower. And I think, a good target for you is going to be in that 90% range. So at that point, you still weigh more than your body weight relative to the plate, which means you're still in the, you've started to unload that force that you've created, just is like still a titch late.
Okay.
So create that knee bend a little earlier.
And so here. So
Yeah.
now I'm here.
Yeah.
And
So could you start to do that in transition? Like in late backswing?
Okay.
So could you start to load? There you go. And now we have more time
Okay.
to get ourselves airborne.
Okay.
I don't want to cut down on that force. I just want it to be like,
Yeah.
a little bit earlier. So maybe late backswing. That was different, right?
That was good contact for sure.
Okay, good.
Left, but
Again, you'll take some time to organize around that concept and whatnot, right?
you know what? That felt a little more flowy, like in terms of a dynamic movement
Okay.
in transition. So I like that.
So still a little bit on the late side.
Okay.
You don't really start to move, right, until a little bit too late still. So even earlier than that. Give me a little earlier. Good. That sounded different.
Yeah. The pop felt different,
Okay.
like off the leg.
Okay. Good. Good. So 225 at max, 131 at impact. Pretty good. Still think that there's some room to get you. So let's use just a little force pedal.
Okay.
And let's just get you to feel like you're not underneath the ball of your left foot, or you're not on that at impact. You're off that thing at impact.
And am I on my toe?
You're off the ground.
Right.
You're off of it totally.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what happens there. Now. There's no way you can chunk that golf ball.
Right.
Right? So think about what we see typically, and I mean, I don't like to say like what we see in kinetics, right?
Yeah.
Because like kinetics is a measure of energy, which typically we can't see. But for the first time, like you're at, this is just before impact, 101%, and then that's just right after impact, the next frame at 95%. So let's say that's the first time that you've ever been sub or close to sub weight, right?
Right.
You're going to see that knee extend a little bit more, right? So when players have a lot of misapplied verticals, right, that left knee goes and sags after impact.
Yeah. And I totally see that in my videos myself.
Right, and so you get kind of down in here because you weigh 175% of your body weight still, right? So you're still kind of pushing up off the ground. If I've already pushed up off the ground, that knee will, typically speaking, be straight already.
Right.
Your foot may or may not move up off the ground depending on how much force you create.
No,
But
that's
you want to get that thing relatively straight and airborne by the time you hit it. get off that pedal.
Okay. That one felt pretty
Good. So
good.
no chunky ones, right? You can reline that face up. You can kind of figure it out under the context of doing it through this ground interaction.
Right.
So there you're 229 at max and you are 148 at impact. So still could be a little quicker up off your feet. Now you are reaching this low weight of 51% before the shaft is parallel. So you're definitely unloading it quicker, right? Mm-hmm. So where you are here, right, where it was kind of over here before.
Right.
Right, so you are better in that regard, but just keep in mind that we want to see that thing kind of sub-weight before you hit it. And straight up in the air. No, it's too late. I want you to feel like in your rehearsals that you're airborne by 6. There you go.
Okay.
All right, oh, that's what I want you to feel, like that timing. Whatever you just did, that's the timing I want to see.
Okay.
I was a little chunky.
A little chunky. That's
okay.
Yeah, okay.
We'll take a look at it because I'm going to assume that we're plus 160 there. Yeah, so not bad actually. 124.
Okay.
All right. But from a little bit lower peak. So try that one again. Airborne. Now. There you go. You don't have to go high, right? It just has to elevate. Oof. Beautiful.
One, yeah.
Beautiful.
You know what? Just that slight move there, that's what I got to sync it with.
That's beautiful right there.
And would having that left leg fire that way also too, it would eliminate the pull, assuming I'm doing everything right with the face and everything else, right? Like this is one thing I've noticed is that when I didn't get the left leg to fire in my range sessions, ball goes left.
Yeah, so typically speaking, this is going to have more of an impact on speed and contact, I would say.
Okay.
So because verticals kick in so late, it's kind of the last thing that builds. It's kind of this weird force that doesn't really impact direction very much.
Okay.
Right? Because the direction of the club and the face relationship is kind of already established by the time verticals kick in hard.
Right.
Okay. So don't be afraid to be, I'd like to see what would happen if you were 0% of your body weight at impact. If both feet were straight up off the ground at impact. Can you show me that? Mm-hmm. Show me. Both feet.
I think that was a touch late. It wasn't bad. But...
So if both feet were off the ground, at some point you would weigh 0% of your body weight, right? So check this out. So at no point do you weigh 0% of your body weight. But around impact, you are 106% of your body weight, which is good. The lowest you ever get to here is 68% of your body weight. 67, sorry. That's the lowest. So I want you to be at 0. Okay. I want you to not weigh anything against the plate. Ooh.
That's all cool.
So what's funny is that's the most you've gone from peak to impact. Okay. But you raised your peak. You didn't raise the low weight at impact. So you raised the peak to 253% of your body weight.
Right.
But at impact you still weighed 144.
Wow, so still not throwing enough energy to the shaft.
You got it. Okay. Now, the nice thing is you are sub body weight by here.
Right. Okay, that's way better.
That's way better, right? So that's 98% of your body weight. Okay, that's so the first time you crossed the 0 line. Now, when we started,
right,
you were
I was
you reached sub body weight, 98%. Mm-hmm. Here.
Right.
So now you're down in kind of this zone somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Over here, you're way up here.
Wow.
So all that does is change the look at impact. So if I pull this one into A, we'll put the new one into B. So take a look at those differences, right? So this peak is 253 versus 213. So the potential for more speed. Okay. But the nice thing is you get rid of it earlier. Mm-hmm. So at impact, we start to change our look. So we're up a little taller here. Mm-hmm. That leg is straightening. So you've gone from 213 to 170 on this one, and over here it's 253 to 144. So
Right.
we look at that and say, okay, well, we put in 109% of your body weight versus 43%. Good. So now what I want you to do is I want you to do that as chill as you can.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to do what you're doing, but I want it to be calm.
Okay.
Okay? I want it to not be rushed. I want you to just kind of push your body up away from the ground. I want to see if you can swing this at 91 miles an hour, so 10 miles per hour slower.
Okay.
And just push your body upright. Pretty easy golf swing there, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So you see how this duration is way shorter than this one? Mm-hmm. So in your old swing, you were creating this force for too long. Vertical force is an impulse. It's like, boom,
Okay.
in and out. It's just you create it and it's gone, create it and it's gone. So you create the jump and then you're jumping.
Then you're done.
Pretty good golf shot right there.
Yeah. That was a good swing.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, you don't need to hit it 200 yards.
No.
Right?
No.
Like that's, so yeah, this is a quick impulse that reaches 227% of your body weight.
Mm-hmm.
And again, by impact, you're down at, 122.
Right. So you know what? It's a good thing we picked up on that. I did notice on the range, I can't swing. My backswing can't feel like 100-mile-per-hour swing.
Yep.
But my downswing can be as fast as it wants.
For sure. So take a look at these two pictures here, just so you can kind of see this.
Yep.
And this is relatively important, I would say, for you. So that shaft is in kind of the same position. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay, same camera angle. Camera hasn't obviously moved. In this swing, you weigh 65% of your body weight.
Yep.
And in this swing, you weigh 144% of your body weight. Now, what I think is really important for people to understand is most people think that we need to be on the left foot at this point. We're adding pressure to the left foot, right?
Right.
But in both these cases, you're actually reducing the pressure. So the center of pressure dot here is coming backwards in this original swing, but it's still at 73% lead foot. Mm-hmm. Well, over here, you're 78% right foot or trail foot, right? Which is very different from like the old idea that we're supposed to load onto that left foot, continue to add pressure onto that left foot, and be able to kind of toe tap that right. It's what it looks like on video. So when I zoom both of these swings through, you end up looking like you could toe tap that right foot, right? But what's happened is you've gotten all the way over here to 79% lead foot or 80% lead foot, and then you've elevated the foot. So what ends up happening is that pressure, whatever pressure is left against the plate, has to center around this foot, right? So that takes us to this really important number of center of pressure velocity. So most people kind of, I think, erroneously believe the harder we push forward, so the faster we accelerate our pressure from right foot to left foot, the faster we will go, okay? It's the opposite. The faster that pressure goes from left foot to right foot, the faster we go. Okay? So think home run hitter, right? That home run hitter doesn't stack up on their lead foot. They push the foot into the ground and end up on their trail knee.
Right.
So over in this swing, you push forward at a high of 10.9 miles per hour by the look of it. So that dot is accelerating because it's above the graph here. 10.6, 10.9, 9.9, something like that. And then it slowly kind of almost stops moving at 0.4 miles per hour right now. And then it kind of accelerates backwards at a peak velocity of 7 miles per hour. Okay? So you're faster moving forward than you are moving backwards in this original swing.
Right.
Over here, though, you accelerate forward at 10.8, so approximately the same speed going forward. But then all of a sudden, when it stops moving forward, it actually just moves straight back. And ultimately, you reach the high speed here. Right. This is right at your lowest body weight, right? Of 34 miles per hour. Okay? The bigger the multiplier between forward motion and backwards, like pressure, like the motion of the center of pressure, the faster players go. So a guy like Kyle Berkshire is like 14 times faster moving backwards than he is forward as a driver. So Kyle accelerates his pressure forward only 6 miles per hour, hitting like 400-yard tee shots. Right. 6 miles per hour forward, 80 plus miles per hour backwards.
Wild.
Right? But it's not like he's coming up and falling towards that right foot and adding pressure to it.
Right.
What he's doing is pushing from here and up, which means as soon as that's up off the ground, 100% of my pressure is on my right foot. The faster that foot accelerates off the ground, the faster that dot accelerates back here. So the longer that you stay in the loading phase, right, the slower that dot's going to move. Or it's going to move at the right speed at the wrong time.
Got it.
That's why we're doing this, is to get more acceleration of this center of pressure backwards. There's a massive link to this and distance, and for you, more contact purpose.
Yep.
Right? Because I want you to be higher. At this point, you can see that leg is way straighter than this leg over here. Right? This knee is outward, and all of a sudden, we can look at lots of different graphs, but your braking force will be better. Right? You'll have applied. So here, you've already applied your brake and are getting out of it. And that brake is being applied about the same, actually a little bit less, but it's being applied earlier because now you just don't have anything to push with that left foot.
Right.
Here you're still pushing forward to stop that knee from moving more forward.
So one thing in particular we've worked on a ton with the drivers, obviously just like no left miss whatsoever.
Yep.
How we've tackled that is through obviously some plane mechanics, but a big thing is just bringing the ball position back.
Yep.
Now, one thing that has done my attack angle right now has been pretty level.
Okay, so my goal would be then to use that ball position that you guys are using to reach neutrality.
Yeah.
Use the elevation off the ground to increase attack angle.
Right.
So then we can get some distance going, some low spin stuff going.
Right.
Let's fire away. Let's see what's up. 325, all right?
We'll see.
All right, let's see.
Should be.
Okay.
I would say like before.
I mean that fits into.
Oh geez, 5 up sick.
Yeah.
I'm in 5 up in weeks.
Right. So let's take a look at that. Let's just take a look and see. Okay. Well, what happened with the vertical force?
Right.
So here you were 239 at peak, 119 at impact. I would love it if you were already 58% at impact.
Okay.
What I want you to do is see if there's a translation between how airborne you can be and how fast the golf club goes. Because if you can get to that 60% number by impact, I think that ball speed will go up.
Okay.
Okay.
It's probably the most I've released that left leg on a driver ever.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look at it. So that at impact was 113.
Okay, better.
Okay, I want to see that as, like, I want you to be as high up off the ground as possible. I don't care if you miss it. I don't care if you send it through the left wall in the studio.
Okay.
I want you to get airborne. I want you to jump your way off that plate.
That's low on the face.
That's okay. Low on the face just means higher attack angle for you. Good. So sub body weight for the first time.
Okay.
You're 79% of your body weight there.
Okay.
At impact. Now, you created 269% at max, which means you got 190% of your body weight into the golf club, which is a whole lot better.
Okay.
Okay?
That one.
That sounded murdered.
Yeah. That felt good. And I got my hands in front of me.
Good.
So I knew like it was gonna fade.
So a push cut at 312.
Right.
Pretty
is
good.
Is how max, that is what we're designing.
So check out this. It's 100% of your body weight now at impact.
Fucking sick.
Okay, so that first driver at 118. So this one at 118 miles per hour, which was the first driver, was 119% of your body weight. And this is after discussing with an iron the ability to get airborne, which makes me believe that chances are that you weren't as airborne before, right?
Absolutely
so
not.
If I go back to our last session here, 332, 178, 124, you were going after that one for sure.
The thing though is that the mechanics on this one are not playable.
This is 147-ish% of your body weight.
Right.
Right? So that's not what I'm after for maximum efficiency, right? I want you to be in this area down here when you hit it, which is kind of what we're seeing now. So you get now to right about there. So right at 100.
Cool.
On your way to 45% before the shaft is parallel. If I could get you to be 45% at impact,
happy days.
Probably, well, gonna hit it further. I can't encourage you enough to get there earlier.
Like
now.
As soon as I go.
Like you've loaded the jump. You're just staying in the load phase for too long.
Okay.
Just load and go. Just push your way up off the ground as hard as you can. Push. There you go. There you go. That I believe you.
Yeah. Hook the piss out of it, but
it's okay. 122. So you got to 301% of your body weight there.
Okay.
Which is, I'm going to call that just rarefied air.
Okay.
Okay. So just to give you an idea, like 200% is the top end of PGA Tour average.
Right.
Okay. You got to 301. You got to 512 pounds of force.
Sick.
Okay?
So if I transfer that to the club head, we're hitting it.
You got it. You don't see that number from golfers. You see that number from long drivers.
Okay.
Yeah, before you hit it. Get up before you hit it. Love that. Make that happen.
I felt like I didn't have any feet on the ground for that.
Okay, good. 22 and 75. All right, so you got to your highest club head speed of the day at your highest ball speed of the day. I mean, did you hit it well? No.
No.
So at impact, you were 143%, but your max was 308.
I still didn't shed enough body weight there?
No, but like, look how quickly you go from 143 to sub weight.
Okay, so
like you're within like a millisecond
of making it.
Yeah, like at here you're like 0% body weight. Right? Like so you're completely airborne at this point.
Okay.
Okay? So you're just like a millisecond late. Like it's hard to coach that millisecond, but you know, it's 122 and 175, which is your fastest of the day. Good. So I want there to be a little bit, just a little bit, less violence in this motion.
Okay.
So I want there to be a little bit, just to show you kind of the difference, right? So I want you to push really hard and really high.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to feel like you're trying to hit this thing 400 yards.
No, and I got to slow that.
I want you to feel like you're going to hit a 275-yard tee shot with the most violent feet you've had. Not violent hands, not arms. Push the body upward, but chill while you do it. Yeah, because that gives you more time. The faster that backswing gets, the less time you have to move.
Right, and that goes back to what we were saying with the 7-iron, and this is a habit I need to build in.
Yep.
If I slow that down to load, then I can jump.
Right.
So let me try now.
And that time is like the first time you were 71% of your body weight there at impact. So that's like within 2% of the lowest body weight you're going to reach there.
Right.
Right? Because it gave you time to do it, right? Which is what I'm after, right? So again, you can kind of like, you know, test your way through this and organize these concepts. But in order for you to hit it as efficiently as possible, you're going to want to weigh less than your body weight with driver.
Right.
I can live at 120. You know, if the vertical force is going up and with 7-iron you're at 120, but you know your peak goes up to say 240, and you know you're getting to 120 at impact. Cool, but with driver, I'd really like to see you under body weight. Awesome swing. Like perfect.
Yeah.
Super chill. And what's funny is you don't lose anything.
No.
In fact, that's your longest carry of the day.
Because now the efficiency is.
Right? Longest carry, longest total, 173 ball speed.
Right.
Without nearly, it looks like, at least to me, without nearly as much effort.
No, that wasn't hard.
And look at, so what's funny is 80% body weight.
Right.
Right? Because the faster you go up here, now all of a sudden you have to use your feet so much faster.
Right.
Right? When you're a little bit more chill up top, you can push a little quicker. You also create more torque. Like you're up to 154 pounds of torque. So now 2 out of your 3 forces are above PGA Tour average.
Right.
Right? And these are the two that I always want to turn up. This one is the one I always want to turn down, and that's the one that's not in tour average. The break is awesome, 40% of your body weight. Right? So this is being so much bigger than this is what we see with some of the best players and the best drivers of the golf ball. But these ones up above tour average is exactly what I want to see.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was single-handedly one of the greatest lessons I've ever had in golf and has informed my entire off-season training schedule. That was the blueprint right there. I dialed everything in around making my swing achieve that because I realized I have some advantages now that I've built in through my training. My ability to generate that much force despite my size. I'm not a very big person, but being able to push that much force vertically, if I can get that to the club at the right time, it gives me a disproportional advantage. And that's something I'm gonna need on my path to pro golf. So that informed how I work out, all my range sessions. I have subsequent videos coming out on that and the changes I made. Here's a still frame here to show you guys some progress on specifically the driver. And as you can see, my left foot is up before I hit the ball, and I'm starting to see way more distance as a result because I'm getting that weight out to the club. I'm also seeing way better low point with all of my irons. I don't nearly hit it as chunky or as thin as I used to, simply because my low point is way more controlled. And now I'm able to diagnose on off days when things are going sideways, it's because I'm not applying my verticals properly. So knowing that is such an incredible tool. I cannot recommend working with Ryan enough. The ROI of his lessons is some of the best I've ever had. And you know, my coaches said not working with Ryan is a life bogey. And we definitely don't want to make bogeys on the course. We definitely don't want to make bogeys in life. And I think if you have the opportunity to work with Ryan, it is a must, simply because of how transformative it can be to your game. It'll help you find what you're good at, where you need to improve, and how to maximize it. He does also travel, so if you think it'd be worthwhile for your membership to have him at your club, I cannot recommend him more. He will transform their swings and their approach to the game. So definitely hit him up. And guys, I'm just so excited. Like this was everything I've worked on. I continue to work on this every single day, but the dividends from this lesson, we will start to see pay out, and the discipline of sticking with it. And hopefully you guys also see, right, this is one lesson I had in December that I'm still working on in June. I haven't modified, changed, or deviated from this. So there's also something to be said with when you have a lesson, stop trying to chase different paths. If you stick to one particular path and just workshop it over and over till you become undeniable at it, there is a ton of value in working that way. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.